nothing is impossible. Might be difficult, but it's not impossible. And if you want to do it, you need to try to do it.
Okay, I'm trying to wrap up my lunch really quickly because I have to go down to WGBB and have an interview with Big Fat Joey at the radio station. However, the problem is, I just had a margarita, and I don't know. We're gonna see. What's up, Centenarians? So I am here getting ready to enjoy some of this wonderful food here. Yes. But before I do that, we're definitely gonna chop it up with Joe Palmisano, and he is gonna give us kind of an overview of the food situation and talk to us a little bit about his career, things that he's been doing in his life. And that way, I don't steal his thunder, I'm gonna let him introduce himself again formally, and then we'll take it from there.
Well, hello everyone, and first and foremost, before we get involved, I'd like to thank my friend Philomena and her husband Angelo for the use of the facility here at Cabo and Rockville Center here in New York. Come on out, great Mexican food. We got some chips, we got some guac, we've got some salsa. We're about to have it, but I can do that on camera right now. But thank them. I'd like to, thank you. So I'm Joe Palmisano, also known as the Big Fat Joey, because I have a radio show here in New York on WGBB Radio 95.9 FM, 1240 AM, the Big Fat Joey Show. Heard Sunday mornings at 9:30 AM. You can hit the listen live button on the internet, and got a lot going on. I've been working in the entertainment business. I don't want to say on and off because it's always on, but there's different levels of on. Some years, work a couple of days doing something, and we all have regular jobs to pay the bills. But for about 30 years, between doing voiceovers, set design, production assistant, engineer for like USA Network for the US Open in Flushing, Queens, engineer working for an outside company fixing things at Madison Square Garden, hanging over the floor there up. Fixing that, the Jumbotron in Times Square.
Oh yeah, very
Fixed
familiar.
the Jumbotron. But I will say the Jumbotron has a very small door to get out onto it, so it's kind of misleading, the word jumbo. Big Fat Joe has had a little hard time fitting through that. Doing voiceovers.
Just a lot of things.
Owned a newspaper, bringing out a magazine to the Hamptons, Memorial Day weekend 2023, Hampton Storyboard. So that's coming out. With my wife, Cynthia. She's the backbone of the organization. She keeps me on the straight and narrow.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's tough.
Yes, because I sometimes wander with my thoughts, and I'm a real TV person. I love TV.
Do you like to watch TV, be on TV? What are we talking about?
All the above.
Okay.
But what slows my roll, and I'll watch just about anything, that stops me. I pass the TV, oh, look at that, an infomercial for some rocking chair. And next thing I know, my wife's like, what do you do? I thought you were toweling the floor. What are you watching? But this rocking chair. We're not buying a rocking chair. Turn the TV off. So I do get caught up in TV. I like to watch TV. And I'm
that's
easily
what we're
entertained.
hoping, to get caught up in TV, watching your show, and then tuning into you on the radio and things like that.
Tune in.
So here's where we kind of start off. Like, how did you get to this place where you are doing? I mean, you do a lot of different things, but I'm gonna kind of focus in on the radio show. So how did you kind of get started with your own radio show?
So let me see. So about 7-8 years ago, sitting around the house with my wife, saying, you know what? I want to start a radio show. And that's pretty much what she said.
Yeah.
She added a couple extra words to it, some adjectives. Might have been the word crazy, but nonetheless. She's like, radio show, what are you gonna? I said, well, start out local here on Long Island.
Right.
A lot of local radio stations. I said, I'm gonna put together like a proposal to say what the show's about.
Right.
So the Big Fat Joey Show is an entertainment show, an upbeat entertainment show. We're not looking to knock anyone down. I want to interview people and have them tell me their story, like I'm doing here today with you.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think that's why we had such a good conversation, but I've heard that you could probably talk to anyone that walks down the street. But I appreciate you taking the time to tell us your story, because like, as you said, I think it's important to hear people's stories, because you see people at some point in their life, you think, oh my God, they got there just miraculously. No, I did not.
Right.
So when I start thinking about my life, I know things that I've kind of gone through. So share with us kind of a little bit of your backstory, because we see you now here today, but I mean, on all your glory, tell us anything that you'd like to share, you care to share, How'd you get here?
How'd I get? Well, I drove
Mom
here
and
today.
Dad.
Well, okay, yeah, mom and dad. Always had an interest in TV, film, radio. So when I was in high school, I knew I wanted to work in that medium.
Okay.
And I went to college for that. Taking classes in radio, TV, advertising, film, things of that nature. But like I like to say, life gets in the way. Mm-hmm. And I would say this was the early 90s.
Okay.
And a lot of work was going to Canada.
Oh.
Because it was just cheaper to film there.
Okay.
So
I think I remember that.
Yeah. So looking in the paper, jobs that aren't hot any longer, TV, film, radio, because everything's going to Canada. Jobs that are hot.
Right.
Wall Street.
Right. Okay.
So I spoke with my mom, and she's like, "Yeah, I said, you can add." I said, "Yeah, I can add." So this is back in the day when Wall Street was easier to get into.
Okay.
They weren't looking back then for MBAs and did you go to a business school, things of that nature.
Right. Okay.
Because back then it was easy to that's the .com era when you could just.
Well, I'm thinking right now like the Wolf of Wall Street, like they were looking for you to sell stuff,
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely to sell. So I started at a small firm.
Okay.
Because they paid you a couple bucks a week, and you did cold calling, dial and smile, and that's how you broke in until you have to be sponsored to get your license. Your Series 763. You can't just say, I want to be a stockbroker, I'm going to go take the test. No, you have to work for a firm who's willing to sponsor you.
Okay, so you still don't need a degree to do that?
No.
Okay.
So I didn't need a degree to do that, and wound up working on Wall Street for 12 years. J.P. Morgan Private Bank on Park Avenue was the last thing I did, and then restructuring, what have you, and then done some other things. Went back to school, got a couple of masters. And then, decided
back to your first love.
Decided to come back to the first love, TV, film, radio, and TV's is hard, and radio's a lot easier.
Yeah.
Today, I'm all.
You have a face for TV and a voice for radio, so you can go either way,
I think my friends will probably, I don't think, say, "What'd you pay that woman to see a face for TV? How much you giving her? Get out of here." Dinner. So, and that's how we wound up. And like I said, I enjoy talking to people, and luckily, and my wife is my co-host on the radio show.
That's cool. Very
and
nice.
She loves to talk to people as well. So it's a great match.
Yeah.
We feed off of one another, and it works really well.
It seems like it, because when you say you like to talk and she likes to talk, it has to be a balance. Like, she has to be able to talk. If she's going to get a word in with you talking to the guest, and her vibe with yours, y'all probably have a real good ebb and flow. So you're doing that together on the radio, but I hear that you're doing something else with your wife.
Yes. So earlier this summer, my wife said, "Hey, you're on the newspaper years about 30 years ago." I said, "Yeah." She goes, "What about doing a magazine?" So what about doing a magazine? Now, for those of you who are married, you kind of know when your wife is talking, and you kind of just know that the ask is more or less, "Yeah, we're doing this anyway." So wife wanted to know if I was interested in starting a magazine. I said, "Sure, why not? I'll do that."
Wow. So thinking about things you say and how you have taken that your wife wanted to do, and you are making it happen for her. What is it that you would tell someone if you were to say a mantra or, kind of words of wisdom to someone?
Well, as you get older, you learn different things in life. And one of the things I've learned is nothing is impossible. Might be difficult, but it's not impossible. And if you want to do it, you need to try to do it. You might not be successul. I don't know. Magazine hopefully will be, but it might not be.
I get it.
But I can say, been there, tried it, did it. It worked. It didn't work. So I never have that regret. You don't want regrets.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You want to try to. That's what I try to do every day, is do the best I can and do what I want to do within reason.
Yeah.
So I can say, well, you know what?
Yeah.
I tried it, didn't work out. At least I can cross it off my list.
Yeah.
Or it worked out.
All of the things that you're doing right now are really probably helping you live your best life, but I would like you to give me a chance to ask you, how are you, Fat Joe, Big Fat Joe?
Big Fat Joe. Well,
living your best life.
Well, I'm living large, laying low.
All right now.
That's how I live my best life. I try to do my best every day. I try to have fun in what I do.
Yeah.
I try to do the right thing. I don't know, it doesn't always work out that way. Once again, it goes back to regrets. Try not to have any regrets. Try not to say, well, I should have done that, or, I try to show up to the different functions I might be invited to, or if someone needs my assistance, I try to help them as genuinely as I can. Doesn't always work out. Just try to just have fun with life, because beyond the adult aspect, get up, go to work, come home, pay some bills, get up, go. I want there to be more to it.
Absolutely.
I want to have more fun, and the weekends, the weeknights, and say, okay, well, I'm doing this and doing that, and I love speaking with people. A big part of it, so I have a little studio at home, and I have a little Yorkie named Jonas, and it's amazing. He's part of the team because he comes in there, and he knows when I have the earphones on, the cans, what have you, and he sees me, he knows to behave. He doesn't bark, he doesn't do it, he just sits there and waits. But he knows when I take them off, the cans, the headphones, but he knows, okay, snack time. He knows to run around. But he's, he sits by my feet, as I'm talking to people, I'm on my phone. So it's kind of soothing. So it's more of a relaxation aspect with him. He comes in, But
he's gotten in line with everything that you're doing.
Right.
Kind of like your wife and your son. You're all kind of grooving together, including the dog.
Yes,
How cool is that?
Including the dog.
And I would like to say this, just to add this, you guys, and have centenarians, please remember this part, because you did share about just recently you had to change your eating habits and all these things, and you're looking wonderful.
Yes.
And healthy, not even knowing that you had something that may have been the end of whatever you were going to call your life, right?
Right. Went to the doctor for physical, and they say that's their job to find something. And they do. And luckily, knock on wood, went to the doctor, and they were able to do what they had to do to keep me on the straight and narrow. But got to watch me. This is back in the day, this would have been mine. You all had to order your own. Yeah. But now I have a couple of chips, a little dip, salsa. I think salsa is the unlimited part. I can do that.
Yeah.
And just a whole new learning. You got to take care of yourself.
That's right.
Made it this far.
Right.
You have to take care of yourself, regardless. And listen, I love to eat. I enjoy eating. My doctor will say, he goes, listen, 2 turkey or chicken burgers is enough. Not the whole hen house. Because you need to slow your roll with your, because I can eat.
So I just want to say thank you so much for sharing that, sharing your life, sharing your story, whatever parts of it that you were willing to share in the time that we have allotted for that. We definitely are appreciative and look forward to radio station again.
So it's the Big Fat Joey Show. Sunday mornings, 9:30 a.m., WGBB Radio, 1240 a.m., 95.9 FM, and Memorial Day weekend 2023.
There we go.
Hamptons Storyboard Magazine coming to the Hamptons. Everyone, check us out. Check me out on Instagram, The Big Fat Joey Show, Twitter, The Big Fat Joey Show, Hamptons Storyboard on Instagram, Twitter, The Big Fat Joey Show on the internet.
On the screen.
On the screen of down here, right? Somewhere down here, right? Everything there. And, it's been a pleasure, and I'm honored that you took the time out of your busy schedule, because I love what you're doing. You're highlighting the centenarians, because sometimes, as you get older, they forget. People forget about us, and they're like,
fade to black,
right?
And it's not. We're the ones who are definitely here to support. So I want you guys to follow him. Don't forget to like, follow, share, subscribe, Twitter, comment, all the things, right? I'm gonna get a radio show started, and then we'll be able to have me on air, or either I can call in to the show.
Call in.
But until then, you guys, you be on the lookout for Big Fat Joey Show, the House Centenarian Show. We're doing big things, man. Big things.
Living large, laying low.
Oh, bye.